But masculinity as a whole is a very complicated tapestry. You need to have the emotionality. You need to have the times you feel like crying and you don't. You need to have the times you can be aggressive. You need to have the times that you can be violent to protect your family. It's very complicated. And you can't teach that, especially to the young generation, in spite of the constant propaganda they have coming in their ears, very easily. So I break it down to a very core message. And the core message is that I have financial freedom, so it's hard to tell me what to do. And I have sexual access because I'm respected by women. And I have a good network because I'm respected by men. I break it down.
So financial freedom, sexual access, right? And then he has a network where he has respect. This is what every man must check off their list, bro.
Those core things. And those core things are what I build that's how you build the tapestry of masculinity. Because if you don't have those three core things, you can never build the rest of it.
Okay, so the core to Tate is financial freedom, which would mean financial success, sexual access, and he breaks this down into I'm successful, so I have sexual access. Now, again, this is where I have...
This is where he always has the issue right here, bro. This is where he's like, oh, I'm trad. Don't forget. I'm going to remind y'all.
Some quibbles. Because when it comes to sexual access, traditionally, the way that manhood worked was you channeled that sexual access in exchange for, marriage and commitment to one woman. And then you built a family structure. And the way that you modeled manhood for your son was to take all the aggressive instincts that Tate is really great at exemplifying, and then you channeled them toward the building of a civilization built on the fundamental building blocks, which are families. And a family is not just father and various children by various mothers. A family is a father plus a mother plus children. The sexual access is a symptom of a broader good. The broader good is the marriage. Sexual access, which again, I think of kind of a crude term, mutual sexual gratification and love that you find with your spouse would be a better way to put this. But if in his terms, sexual access, by the way, all evidence shows that sexual access is much higher in marriage than it is outside of marriage, right? There are very few...
Wait. There's more sexual access in marriage than outside of marriage, okay?
And who are going to have the sex life that Andrew Tate apparently has. Most men are going to have a gratifying sex life because they're married to a single woman, which is good. That is an act of good. Again, there are three elements. There's financial success, where I generally agree men have a duty to go and provide and create. Two, when he says sexual success, I would define sexual success, frankly, as being in a loving marriage where you have lots of kids. And finally, a good...
Wait. I guess that's where he's like, yo, you're in a marriage where you have lots of kids, right? That means you clapping cheeks a lot, bro, right? In a loving marriage, you clapping cheeks. So Ben's still keeping her on her toes, bro. Ben probably wants like 40 kids. So I mean, I don't know what's his quarrel with sexual access, bro. I mean, at least he's acknowledging it, that it's true. He's acknowledging that men at this power have it. So he's not really disagreeing with it. He just channels all his sexual access towards just one woman, right? And that's what he wants to do. I respect that shit. Not in modern times, Ben. He pretends as though sexless marriages don't exist. Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying is, how does he combat all the people that are like genuinely bored in their sex lives, right? Is he just keeps channeling it to his girl. He just keeps channeling it to one girl. That's the TradCon, right? And that's kind of like the traditional marriage. Like I don't see anything wrong with that, really. I think that's actually good. I think you're more fulfilled, right? If when you're really with like one girl who just spiritually opens to you. So I don't know what's wrong with the sexual access things. I don't even think he's against it. It doesn't seem like he's against it at all. He's just like, yo, guess what? I'm just not going to exercise the ability that I can have sex with multiple women. That's just his choice. It's his option, right? And when you have the power, when you're in a position and the ability to do so, you can choose to flex that muscle or not. That's on you, right? But the most important thing is that that's not how men show loyalty, though, right? And he didn't bring that up either, but that's just not how men show loyalty, right? You're not a man. You're like, it's not manhood if you choose to flex that muscle. Now, it doesn't really necessarily matter. At the end of the day, the first thing that he mentioned was financial success. That's the most important checklist that you need as a man if you want to maintain a relationship over a long-term amount of time, regardless, right? The sexual access is the result that you get from that, or the status, at least, not just the money, the status. If you get the status, that's how he has the sexual access. And then also building that sexual access through like really understanding women and really understanding game. Ben got married to the woman he lost his virginity to. Ben uses old world framework for modern world. This results in failure for most people. It wouldn't be a failure if most of those people were religious, bro. Because religious people aren't getting divorced at the same rate as people that aren't religious, right? So that's why he's assuming, or maybe he's not assuming, maybe he knows that most of his audience are traditional conservatives, right? And most of them are religious, right? And most of them want to get married. So he's kind of catering to those people. But should the average man, the single dude that's not religious, really look at it in this way? I wouldn't disagree, right? I wouldn't disagree channeling your energy into that. The question that always comes about is, do we need sexual experience as men with multiple women, right? If things don't work out, yes, we do. The answer is yes, you do need sexual experience as a man. Ben didn't need that because him and his wife married and they were virgins. This dude made the money. He's got the status. And then he, like he says, he takes, with that mindset, he channels all his beliefs and all his energy into pleasing his wife, which is why he casually said, and have lots of kids, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. I see the perspective, right? And if that's what works for him, that's great, right?
Because of respect.
It would work today in modern times. It would work today, but again, you need to have that level of your girl's religious and she's a virgin, which I'm assuming Ben's wife was, right? And then Ben is also a virgin and super religious, and they kind of have the families that connect together, and they develop that traditional sense. That's why these guys marry their cousins too, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if that's true or not, but again, that I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case. Men need experience in modern degenerate world. Yes, they do. Why do men need sexual experience? Because women want a man that has more sexual experience than they do. And then you ask women, how many bodies do you think a woman has by the time she's 25? And a lot of them will say like 20, 30 and all that shit. So like, if women want more sexual experience, if women want a man that has more sexual experience than they do, and most women have a body count of 20 by the time they're 25, then men need to play catch up, bro. We're just adapting to the environment, right? And that's something that like Ben Shapiro doesn't understand, right? Or he doesn't really mention or bring up. Because again, he's catering to the traditional conservative because that's how he lives his life. So I don't disagree with him, but you also have to understand that he just doesn't see that perspective.
And again, I agree with that. But the way that you generally create a good
so he agrees with it.
By the way, is by acting like a good person with other people. If you're a good person with other people, you have a repeat business that then forms around you. People want to be associated with people that they believe are moral and have principle, for sure, and also people who treat them well. And so he's not wrong about, I would say, all three of those things, although when it comes to sexual access, I think that his view of that is very different from the traditional view. I think it's less successful, I think it's less durable, and I do not think that it actually exists.
He thinks it's less successful. Wait, what? Let's see that last part.
View of that is very different from the traditional view. I think it's less successful, I think
less successful,
less durable, and
less durable.
Not think that it actually exemplifies.
And he thinks it doesn't. It's okay. So less successful, less durable, and it doesn't exemplify. So we just debunked what he just said right there, right? Is how is it going to be less successful if women want a man with more experience than they do, right? That's what I'm saying. Like at this point, you need to check off every single box as a man, right? If you want to maintain the relationship, and he doesn't understand the RP perspective, right? Because he's not dealing with women with more of a body count. So if you want to marry a virgin, then you can go the TradCon pill. But if you're not marrying a virgin and you want to take you want to roll some dice, bro, you want to take some more risk, which you will. The average man has to roll the dice. The average man has to take that kind of risk, right? You need to have more sexual experience if you're going to do that, bro. You do. You need it. You need it at this point. You do. It is what it is. Most women in 2023, whether religious or not, are feminists, designed to put all blame on men and have all the power in marriage. Oh, damn, bro. You think most religious women are feminists, though? I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I never really meet a lot of religious women, bro. So I really wouldn't know. See, my only understanding that I would have of this would be like, if you're a religious person, is feminism rooted in religious media, right? Is this being pushed around? Is feminism being pushed around in certain religions, right? And is it being accepted? Is it being like adopted? Because then religious woman, what would she do? She'll turn on her social media and she'll adapt to all these religious feminists, right? So yeah, like I said, I don't know. I'd see I have to understand what kind of social media these religious women are adapting to or are watching. Which is why they leverage sex for compliance, chores, money, and fear of divorce. Grape. Hedonism. All right, so yeah, man. I mean,
the kind of masculinity that builds societies. Alrighty, so listen, Andrew Tate.
He's saying that this kind of
Do not think this. I think that his view of that is very different from the traditional view. I think it's less successful. I think it's less durable, and I do not think that it actually exemplifies the kind of masculinity that.
So pretty much, yo, bro. If you haven't followed Ben Shapiro's boat, if you're not on his boat and you're not following everything he did, right, it's gonna be less successful. And he's not wrong. I think that's a pretty base take, bro. I think that's a pretty base take. Like, his relationship is gonna last a lot longer than most of our relationships. Let's be honest, bro. We're fucked, bro. We're fucked. We fucked up as soon as we didn't get religious, right? The odds of us getting divorced are immediately higher because we're not religious. The odds of us getting divorced are immediately higher because we've experienced more bodies, right? And women have too, and the women that we choose have experienced more men too, bro. Unfortunately, unless y'all trying to marry virgins. Feminism can be sold so sweetly. I think most women would get nulled into believing the bullshit. You think so? Yeah, I mean, the feminism thing really goes in, like, with a religious woman, because how can you be a religious woman and then also be a super career driven woman, right? It's like at one point you have to choose one besides the other, and that's the problem that women always choose. Is like, am I gonna go with the religion tells me, or am I just gonna choose to be semi-religious, ignore that part of the religion about being a wife, and then just go for my career? Like, if that's where women are being led to. And honestly, you can kind of see that with Brett Cooper a little bit, but she's still young, so you don't know. In the old world, God, but I don't even know if is Brett Cooper even religious? In the old world, God kept the frame of the relationship. All texts state sex is the wife's duty. Modern women don't believe this, and man is now the one that must maintain the relationship frame. Yeah, bro. Unfortunately, yeah, sex is the man's duty, bro. Like, nowadays, it's your duty, bro. It's your duty because, again, a woman can, like, even if you choose not to marry her, right? And she moves in with you, that, like, as soon as she moves in with you, you're taking that big ass L, you're taking that big ass risk. And then as soon as she has your kids, like, you're taking that big ass risk too, right? Because remember, if she's not sexually enticed and she's not always craving you, right? Even when you're getting older, like 10, 20 years down the line, that's when you're going to fuck yourself over. When you take your foot off the pedal, you're slowly, it might not happen all at once, but you're slowly fucking yourself over in a long enough time period. They'll deny you sex. They'll divorce you and take your money, whether they are religious or not. Yeah, bro. Their day will come. God will handle it. God damn, what the fuck? Haram. All right, let's see what else we got. Let's see what else we got for you guys. Sheesh. I might keep the stream short today, bro. Tomorrow I'm gonna do a long stream. Tomorrow I'm gonna do a super long stream. Probably do like a 6-hour stream or some shit, or 8-hour stream. I'm gonna try to really push myself on the streams. I'm gonna do a lot more. But today I want steak, bro. I want to eat some steak. Jordan Peterson's thoughts on Andrew Tate. Let's watch.
On Andrew Tate and the masculine movement happening in young men across the globe.
Well, I really haven't said anything about Andrew Tate, and I probably won't tonight. But Well, I'll make a few comments about the Andrew Tate phenomenon. I would say is that the mystery is there is a mystery in relationship to Andrew Tate, and the mystery is why is he so popular? And I think part of the reason he's so popular is because he doesn't easily bend a knee, so to speak. And it isn't all.
Learn that, bro. You must learn that. When it comes to communication, if you want to just hold the frame in a conversation, you need to double down, man. You need to double. Even if you know you're wrong, you need to double down at that moment, right? To be able to get to be able to keep the show going in your direction, in your frame, right? That's what Andrew Tate does. He doubles down, he'll triple down, he'll quadruple down, but he does it because he is so sure of himself. Right? And he knows why he's doubling down and tripling down, right? That's what makes him so respectable, is that he's unapologetically himself. And that's what men must learn to do today, because the blue pillars are always apologizing. Even me, right? Even me. Sometimes I'll just fold, and I'm like, why am I folding so easily? Like, why? Like, for what? Am I really even this sorry? Or am I just sorry I slightly offended your feelings? Right? Once you fold because you slightly offended somebody's feelings and not because you truly believe you're wrong, and you don't double down, you look weak and you lose respect. Right? And that's why Jordan Peterson's giving Andrew Tate his flowers, because the dude doubles down.
To me, that he doesn't bend a knee because of his stellar moral character, but because I'm not particularly, what would you say, impressed by what he's done on the sex business front. It seems to me a bit on the pimpy side, let's say. And I'm not a great admirer of pimps.
All right. Well, let's break down the word pimp, right? Positively, inspirationally motivating person. Andrew Tate does call himself a PIMP. He calls himself a pimp, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with that, right? I think there's just a big-ass misconception about what most pimps are. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think most pimps are pretty friendly, charismatic, and cool, bro. It's just sometimes, right? They got to get, not handsy with the girl, right? But they got to deal with a lot of stress from the girl. But they got to also deal with a lot of stresses from, like, the dudes that go into. But all right, we're talking about real pimping. Andrew Tate was not like a real pimp. He was like a online pimp, right? He wasn't like a street pimp. So, right, maybe Jordan Peterson has a problem with street pimps and this stereotype behind they were very aggressive with that backhand. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's not a stereotype. It's probably true.
So, wait, even if they're the electronic version, and so, but I don't know that much about the details of his life, and apart from that, rather casual diagnosis, I'm going to leave it alone. But there is a mystery there, and the mystery is, why has he captured the public imagination? And it's clear that he's become a voice, maybe like a kind of a violent rapper, same sort of attraction to young men. And that attraction is the attraction of what's the alternative to a kind of cringing defeat, and so maybe a forthright aggression is a preferable alternative to a cringing defeat. And I have some sympathy for that viewpoint, So, and I think Tate at least stands for that. And apart from that, I don't know enough about him or what he's done or what he stands for to comment. And so we'll leave it at that.
That's it. That's not like some cope at the end.
So, and I think Tate at least stands for that. And apart from that, I don't know enough about him or what he's done or what he stands for to comment. And so we'll leave it at that.
Okay, cool. I can respect that, man. I can respect when you're just like, I don't know much about it. I've heard some of the things about it. It seems like overall his message seems to be good from the things maybe what he's getting on his feed, right, on his For You page. And he likes the motivating stuff.
You need to do what you're supposed to do, not what you feel like fucking doing. That's the difference between a man and a fucking
So
child.
I can respect that. What do you guys think people are saying down in the comment section? A conversation between JP and Andrew Tate would break the internet. I would watch that conversation, bro. 15K upvotes for that. I would definitely watch that. Jordan is not only a brilliant man, he is also a true gentleman, such a great example for boys and young men throughout the world. Good to see someone that can articulate their perceived pros and cons of someone without absolutely... Bro, all right, at this point, you're just deriding, bro. He didn't give a crazy thing, like pros and cons of someone. Like, he didn't give really any cons. What an incredibly balanced and humble response. Wait. Also, didn't his daughter chill with Andrew Tate? And you're telling me you don't know much about the dude's life? Your daughter literally went and hung out with Andrew Tate. Why is he fence sitting still? Nah. See, that just, now I'm just like, what?
Breathe air.
Maybe he's the enemy. Oh, shit. I absolutely love how he articulates his words, especially, oh my God, you're just really D-riding for him, bro. I really respect Dr. Peterson as a wordsmith. God damn. In every response to this guest, man. Yo, these guys just really get off on hearing him speak. I think he landed Tate spot on and was very respectful in how he managed his words. It seemed a little bit like snaky, like my opinion. It's my opinion. So yeah, I mean, even you said never forget the video where Peterson ignores the question regarding them boys. He avoids the topic because he's controlled by them. Yeah, bro. I mean, you can't say I mean, when you're this big, and you know you're being run by like Shapiro's type. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, you have to be careful. You have to choose a side at that point, bro. And he's on them boys' side for sure. And you gotta understand it. You gotta respect it. I mean, they were there for him. They helped him out a lot. Like, he's not gonna say nothing bad. He's not gonna say nothing crazy about them. The same way Andrew Tate wouldn't say something crazy about them boys. You know, it's the same way. It's crazy that people put these two people in the same category of what true intention is. All right, cool. So yeah, that's Jordan Peterson's take on Andrew Tate.
Jesus.